Buyer beware. There are things that you need to pay for in a real estate transaction that some of you might not realize that you need to pay for. So let's go down the list. Some of those things are going to be surprising, some of those things are going to be obvious, but stick around to the end of this video and you will be well educated enough to know exactly what's going to come out of your pocket and what's not going into your pocket. Does that even make sense? Number one, taxes. Oh boy, that fun subject. Yeah, that's right, property taxes. Here in California, it's at least 1.25% of the purchase price is what your property tax is going to be on your purchase. So you need to keep that in mind because that is going to come into play when you pay all of your fees out of pocket at the end of escrow. And another tax that might come into play as well is Mello-Roos. Now what's Mello-Roos? It's usually for newer developments in a lot of places, but for example, Santa Clarita has a ton of Mello-Roos, especially in Valencia. So that's something that you want to pay attention to here in LA County because those are special assessments that you have to pay, and not all the things that you pay are even tax deductible, even though they have the word tax in it. You're welcome. Number two, home inspections. Now, inspections are something that the buyer pays for. So any and all inspections that you're going to do on the house that you are purchasing, you are paying for it. The seller is not going to pay for inspections on their own property. That doesn't happen. So that could be a general inspector, which would be anywhere from maybe like $600 to $900. And then the general inspector is going to start flagging things that you might want to bring in a special inspector for. Now, I always like to bring in a general inspector, a plumber to do a sewer line inspection. They're going to shove a camera down the sewer line to make sure that the pipe's not cracked and all the crap is flowing through that sewer line system with ease. No pun intended, crappy. And another one that I like to bring into the mix is a termite inspector. So those three, maybe a chimney inspector as well. But yes, these things do add up. Chimney inspector can be about $350. Sewer line inspection is about $200. Termite inspection, again, another $200. So depending on the inspector that you use, more money does not necessarily mean better inspectors. So, do some due diligence, look at the reviews, get referrals from your agent who has probably worked with some inspectors for a long time and has some good inspectors in their database that they can pull from. Number three, closing costs. This is about 1 to 3% of the purchase price is going to total your closing costs. So those are going to be things like escrow fees, title fees, recording fees, the notary fees. All these things are going to add up and come out of your pocket when escrow closes and things get funded. So you're going to want to get a net sheet from escrow. So that's going to lay out all the line items of things that you're going to have to pay for in escrow for your closing costs. Number four, HOA fees. Now this can be a tricky one because if you're buying a single family home, not all of them are necessarily going to have HOA fees. It just depends. If you live in a community that has a governing HOA, then you're going to pay fees for that. But if you're buying a condo, for example, you're definitely going to have HOA fees that you're going to pay every month, and that's going to come into play for you as the buyer when you are purchasing the condo, because these HOA fees are going to be prorated into the net sheet. So the seller is probably going to end up paying some, but then you're going to pay for, like if it's the middle of the month, it's going to be prorated to whatever the fee is going to be at that point in the month. So make sure again that you get that net sheet because you want to be very well aware of the fees that you are going to be paying at the close of escrow. Number five, and this is going to be the big one, the biggity big one, homeowners insurance. In California, it is freaking brutal right now, because companies have been jumping ship and don't want to write new insurance policies because of all the wildfires that have been happening throughout California. In Los Angeles, remember last year we had the Palisades fire and the fire in Altadena, completely wiped out those communities. Now people need to get reinsured, and it's become like quite a problem to get insurance because these companies are like, well, I don't want to pay, I don't want to rebuild your house, I'm only going to give you a little bit. And then you got the California Fair Plan, which really isn't that fair, to be honest, because they only cover so much, then you have to get supplemental insurance to go along with that. So again, these things are really items that should be done up front. You need to have an agent who is like on the ball and looking these things up. Even as you're looking at houses before you even put in an offer, you should have a general ballpark idea of what the homeowner's insurance is going to be before you even write that offer, because you got to know the stuff up front, because these things can be anywhere from, who knows, like $600 to $1,000 a month for your homeowner's insurance. And who's going to have like an extra $8,500 a month to budget for that? So you got to really think about these things. And that's why it's important to have an agent who does the thinking for you and passes that information along to you. And before I get the hell out of here, the last one, number 6, is going to be you're going to want to budget money for home maintenance after you have finished purchasing your home and you're living in it. Because guess what? Things break in the house. Like things that may have been working before you purchased it and inspections, it was working then. 4 months later, now it's not going to be working, or broke and it's only working a little bit, or something is just like gone wacky. You don't know why. Like I've experienced this myself. I've seen other clients experience this. So one of the things that you're going to want to do is have your agent negotiate a home warranty for you in the offer. So you're going to have the seller, in most circumstances, pay for that home warranty. And so they're going to cover things like, appliances if they break down. It could be some roof leaks, electrical, anything that's kind of like going on inside the house is what the home warranty is going to cover, but anything that's kind of like on the exterior, they really aren't going to cover. So it's really, you got to read through the home warranty policies to see exactly what they cover, because of the things that they don't cover, that's going to cost you. So you're going to want to try to budget at least maybe $10,000 to maybe $20,000, which I know is a major pain in the ass, and who has that kind of extra money lying around? I sure wish I did. But it's a good thing to keep in mind, because things do break and people become what we call a house broke after they purchase their homes. I know that for example, because my wife and I became very house broke after we bought our house, and I'm not going to lie to you, we still are house broke. So thanks very much. So if you are a buyer and you're looking to make a purchase in Los Angeles, specifically maybe even Sherman Oaks or somewhere in the San Fernando Valley, and no one's walked through these numbers with you, I would like to have a very honest conversation with you about those numbers. Go ahead, schedule a call with me. The link is in the description below. I look forward to talking with you.